You're welcome back to the Naija Filmmaker, the podcast for us to talk about Nigerian filmmakers, their films, and how we can build a diverse and functional industry. I'm your host, Selegot. On this episode, my guests are Mr Mrs Critic from the Iroko Critic. They are the creative minds behind the Iroko Critic YouTube channel, where they review Nollywood films with several interesting segments. We talked about their Nollywood faves, the idea of a good film, and the roles critics play in the industry. If you're a new listener, you're welcome and I hope you enjoy. Hi, Mr. and Mrs. Critic. You're welcome to the Naija Filmmaker.
Hey, nice. Thank you. Nice to be here.
And nice to finally see your face. Although I guess my audience will not be enjoying that. Yeah.
It's just for you.
Yeah. All right. So can you guys introduce yourselves?
Right. I guess so. We're Iroko Critic, critics with receipts. I guess we've been doing Nollywood reviews and video essays for about a year plus now. Yeah, and we just like doing Nollywood content on Nollywood, and that's where our interests are.
Yeah, we like movies. We like talking about movies, and the Hollywood review market is saturated. So.
Yes.
Yeah. So why did you guys choose YouTube as opposed to I guess a review website?
That's a good question. Well, I guess because we joke that I am essentially the mother of Iroko Critic.
Yeah,
so I birthed it, if you will. And the reason why it was YouTube was because that was where I used to consume all my. I'm an avid YouTube. I was a YouTube addict at some point in my life. I don't know whether I've quit, but yeah. So it's just the format that I saw. It was where I consume a lot of all my video essays and my reviews. So it was just a natural. I saw there wasn't a lot for Nollywood for what I was seeing for Hollywood, and so I thought I saw a gap, and then decided to go there.
And you were already making some YouTube content, so it's a medium you were familiar with.
Exactly.
Okay. I realized that you guys were using names in your earlier videos and then you stopped. So are those aliases or your real names?
Should we?
Yeah.
Should it?
Yeah.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows?
Oh, I see you're keeping up with the anonymous act. Yeah.
Who knows? The reason why we didn't say our names is it's not actually for anything. It's just because we want to keep the characters that are reviewed different from our personal lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how good a job we do of keeping it separate, because obviously all our friends and family know that we review as a Iroko Critic, and you've seen our faces, you know us.
Yeah.
I've private messaged a few people to set up something for me to see, so it's like it's not like
that big a deal.
Big secret. It's just you want to keep the reviews separate from we have Mr and Mrs C are similar to us in real life. Obviously they're drawn from us, but they're still characters in a way.
They're still they're still characters.
Okay, so it's essentially like what makes a good movie for you guys?
That's interesting. I think we're both different actually, despite being under the same banner. So what might be good for me might be slightly different for Mrs Critic, but for me it always starts with the story. The story is the main thing. If you don't have a good consistent story, then have all the nice production and all the shiny elements, it doesn't matter. It has to be with the story. It starts with the story. A lot of the things that I think Nollywood has been missing recently is that is the characters making the choices that their characters should make, or actually just having characters. I mean, that's if it gets to the point of that point. So like character motivations and well-rounded characters is where we seem to be lacking. But if we can get those two right, it's like, I mean, I whine about things like Orange and Teal and stuff like that, and the production.
If we get a good story, we'll take it.
Exactly. Is there anything different for you?
Don't mind Mr. C. He cares about technical stuff, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, he'll pick a good story. We should get there somewhere. But I only started to care about technical things when he started pointing technical things out to me.
Yeah.
I was just blissfully ignorant of all the orange and teal on my screen, and now I can't unsee it. But yeah, fundamentally for me as well, it's the story and the characters. I'm one of those people that need to connect with a character, or at least like a character, or at least be able to stand a character. And he doesn't really he doesn't need the characters. I get angry. I get really emotional with films. Like, I get angry, I feel rage, and he's like, relax.
Yeah.
Why are you so stressed?
Mrs. Critic doesn't like stressful.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like stressful. I don't deal very well with
and all of that
tension.
Yeah. Like, for example, we watched Breaking Bad, and like, I didn't realize how stress, like, and how much anxiety can be built in Breaking Bad, and it just doesn't deal well with
Walter White. And I hated him quite early on.
Yeah.
And he couldn't understand that. And he's like, this is a fantastic character.
Yeah.
I'm like, yes, the writers have done a very good job, but I hate the character. What are you going to do?
Yeah. So that's actually that's where we differ, is that I see that and I'm just saying, oh my God, look, they wrote a well-rounded person.
And I'm looking at thinking,
it feels like somebody that I could know, that kind of thing. Yeah. Whereas she's just so engrossed in the story, and she's like, I don't like all these feelings I'm feeling from all of this. But
yeah,
I mean, you're a filmmaker, right? Is that where it starts for you as well? Is it with the story, or do you have a different approach?
I think I guess it starts with the premise. Like, you figure out what's going to kind of catapult your story, and then you basically, I guess, generally, like, when you spend time kind of working on your script with the actions you're giving your characters and the dialogue, you can make them a bit well-rounded. I think part of where people suffer with one-dimensional characters are characters that they don't know personally. Like, okay, I'm talking about an astronaut. I don't know what an astronaut goes through. So instead of doing the research, backing that up with fact, you know, you just kind of keep things surface level. I feel, characters kind of keep the audience there. Then, all the other stuff, you know, helps with the film.
It's quite interesting. I feel like we get shortchanged in the character department in Nollywood, and it's not so. There are because of your podcast, I've learned a lot of things about all the problems and stress Nigerian filmmakers go through. Yeah. And honestly, it's really eye opening, and it's sad. It's very sad. I listen to it and I'm like, oh my God. Even like, I even respect people who go. Well, to be honest, some of them might not know before they start going, but once you decide this is what you want to do, Nollywood filmmaking, I respect the courage, really, because that's what it is. It's courage to do that and be in that market, because it just seems so volatile and anything can happen. However, in saying that, there are some things where, and I'm sure there's still other things linked to it, where I'm thinking, this doesn't need money though. This one is just time, right? What is missing from this is a little bit of time and care for your work, right?
Yeah.
And I guess there's some parts of it where who wants to put in energy if maybe you're not making a lot of it or making a lot of money from it, or no one's going to appreciate your work, or no one's going to appreciate you like that. Maybe that's what some people are feeling. And I don't know, I guess because I come from come from an area where the YouTube thing we're doing, it costs us money.
Yeah.
It costs us money, costs us time. And I'm not comparing it to any Nollywood movie maker, but I know what it feels like to do something you like because you like to do it.
Yeah.
And not because of, I guess, money and all of that. Although the feedback is helpful.
The feedback is helpful, but also we also recognize that we're not trying to eat from YouTube.
Yeah.
So
I mean, like, it will not be bad now. Will it be bad?
No, but we're not depending on eating from YouTube. What I'm saying is, if we had to churn out a certain amount of content consistently so that we could survive, you will have to sacrifice the time you're putting in, and you're putting in less time, you're putting in less effort, you're not fine-tuning it the same way you would when you have, the convenience of time. I don't need to bring out 7 videos a week so that I can eat.
I get you. I get you.
I mean, I have to commend you guys, like the effort that goes into your videos, just kind of pulling from different resources. Like, it helps. It keeps it fresh and entertaining.
Thank you. That's actually the aim. The aim is to both keep us somewhat not lazy or keep us into some routine, because there were moments where I felt like, oh look, we've got into a rhythm, and it helped with the editing because, like, oh, I know what to do here, I know what to do now. But I start getting bored of the content myself, and I want to do something to change it.
It's never straightforward with him. He says, I have this format, I found the format, this is the format, so I promise I'm not doing anything extra, right? I wake up, there he is at 4 a.m, still in front of the computer going, oh no, see, I thought of this thing, I thought it was going to be really simple to do.
Mrs.
Critic, 4
Critic,
hours later.
Mrs. Critic suffers a lot of my, because when I go to, she writes some of our scripts, and when it goes to editing, and I'm putting it together, I was thinking, okay, right, we've got to. There was one point where we did settle into a format, but like, I don't like the idea of settling into a formula. It doesn't sit well with me, and I go, okay, let's do this, and unfortunately, it keeps me up at night, and she gets, because like, it's not like, even though like, the finished product, I like the finished product, but going through editing till 4 a.m.
See, sometimes he'll spend an extra 3-4 hours on something that only he would notice. Or maybe 1 or 2 people will pick it up. That's it. 3-4 hours on that thing. That tiny little thing.
So I guess you just also confirmed to us that Donatus doesn't exist.
Oh no, wait, hang on. I think you find that Donatus is very much he's very much in existence. Donatus didn't always start editing with us, did he? Okay, all right. So Donatus doesn't exist, but Donatus is one of the creations, right?
The way Mr. and Mrs Critic exists.
It's funny because I think we have, I guess, Personal Hater is also technically a character that I created, but Donatus is a creation that I thought of because it makes. I like the idea of sometimes the editor and the commenter fighting over what is on the screen, and sometimes the editor being rude, because sometimes that's how I feel about me, the voiceover person, right? Like I remember there was one time I was like, I'm going to have to count all the drone shots, and whilst I'm counting, I'm like, why am I giving myself this work? As an editor, right? When I'm going through and counting all the drone shots, and I felt, it would be nice to like maybe have a character, and I thought Donatus.
Give a name to that voice in your head. My husband is insane.
So when you guys are watching movies, like, do you have your pen and paper in hand?
Wait, no. We're not always watching movies. We're not always on, right? Sometimes sometimes I start getting heated. So he's like, turn your brain off and enjoy it. And just turn it off, just enjoy it. But if we're watching something we want to review, when we watch the movie, when we're done watching the movie, and then we put the recording app on the phone, and then we start talking about it.
Yeah.
So we just record ourselves talking about it, and then you bring out the pen and paper.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. There are some things I know Donatus will want to use. I was like, that thing, no, definitely, I have to get that in the writing. But honestly, that's a product of a not good film. If I get into a film, I would completely forget to make notes.
Yeah.
That's what happens. Yeah.
Okay. You know, most of your reviews are like, I mean, most or all of your reviews are like kind of informed from like the filmmaking terms you talk about. Did you like study film, or it's just like something you know a lot about?
No, it's just YouTube. It's just a lot of consumption. It's probably like, I don't know, 6 years of consumption of both film reviews and video essays, and listening to like director's commentary and all of these things. It's that's all. I mean, that's all I have.
This is all him, by the way.
How about you?
What's up?
Oh, this is all him. He's the one that does all the director's commentary and all that jazz. Before I met this one, I just watched movies. That's it.
Yeah.
I just watch movies. There's a movie out, I like it, I'll watch it. And then he broke me. He ruined me.
Blame me for everything.
And is it better now that you can see some of these things that you weren't seeing before?
Yeah, I think it is, to be fair, because like there are things I really appreciate in films that I really wouldn't have before. Even just things like framing. I'm like, oh my god, that frame is great. I wouldn't have noticed it before. Before I was just watching film.
Yeah.
But someone has gone through the effort of putting something like that, and you know that it elevates the entire experience. Although I guess before I just couldn't put a word to the feeling of it.
To be honest, I think a lot of those things people at least unconsciously recognize. You know, like sometimes I watch, I look at people sort of, you know, the layman who comes out. I say layman. We're also kind of laymen, but we're just slightly more informed laymen. But
I thought recently they referred to you guys as professionals.
Yes. We're not professionals. We're laymen. It's just we're laymen who have watched a lot of stuff. But I sometimes I look at people's tweets when they're just coming out from cinemas, and I'm talking about people who, you know, they don't really watch film, but people are using things like, oh, the cinematography was nice, and I know necessarily they don't know what they're talking about, because sometimes they just mean it was a nice looking picture or something. Like, people notice extra effort in something, even if they don't know how to articulate it. And I feel like one of the things that I came in was I wanted to sort of build that bridge between telling you why. If I tell you why I like it in terms that you understand, then next time you see a thing, you'll go, oh, this is why I thought this was this had good cinematography, or this is why I thought. You have the words to do to sort of put to your own style of review.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything such as an objective review?
No, because everybody has a bias, right? Everybody has a bias. Look, like, there's sometimes you wake up in a mood, right?
Yeah.
You wake up in a certain mood, and a movie works better or slightly worse. You get to it. If you watch a movie when you're tired and it's a drama and it's slower, you're probably not going to enjoy that movie as much as you do when you're not. It's just, so everybody has some sort of bias going on.
Yeah.
However, you can say things that are objective about a movie. You can. That is true. I mean, like, I also guess it depends on how fleshed out the review is. So if I come out and I tell you the review of this movie is that the cinematography was off, the framing was this, you can say factual things about it, and that's right. But, like, you know, I don't think that tells you in as a whole how a movie is. There's a lot of things go into the feel of a movie. So, and I think that's the job of a review, is like, all right, use all your nice and fancy words, and, you know, but tell me, you know, how this movie feels and why it works or why it doesn't work.
There was a movie we saw, I don't know how recent it was. I remember going, I hate this film. But it was well done.
Is it I Care a Lot?
Was it what?
Was it I Care a Lot?
No, it wasn't I Care a Lot. I Care a Lot is too recent, and I Care a Lot was only well done in the first parts. In the first bits. Later, just anyway. I remember such an intense feeling of I hate this film, but I knew it was well done. I knew it was a well done film.
I'm also blanking. We need to talk about Kevin is a movie that I hate, but I can tell you it's a really well done movie. It's a movie about, it's a very, very good character study. It's just that boy is so spoiled, and the way he behaves is just like, especially as an African, you can't relate to that kid. But
what's the name of the movie?
We need to talk about Kevin. It's done by this woman who, I forgot this director. She's actually one of my favorite female directors. She did this. I'm not really here with Joaquin Phoenix, where he's a mentally tortured vet. I think her name is Ramsey or something. But she's a great director, no doubt. That's one of her films. I don't like that film. That film gives me all the feelings that Mr. C usually receives, like anger. But it's a great character study about somebody who, I don't want to spoil the ending just in case somebody wants to watch it, about somebody who ends up doing a type of thing. And Lynn Ramsey, thank you. I know there was a Ramsey in there. But yeah, somebody who goes to do a type of thing. And it's just an absolutely amazing watch. The cinematography, as always, great with her. The sound design, the soundtrack, the performances are amazing. I just don't like that story. I mean, the story is just annoying and frustrating for me. And I don't think it's not. So that's one, like, I don't know whether I would recommend that to Africans, because I think a lot of Africans would feel the same thing I felt. It's just this. Just slap this child. Slap him. That's what I love people be saying, because
we don't advocate for.
Obviously. I know. I'm just saying, like, because of the way we've been raised, like. So that's part of. I know that's a long-winded answer to its objective review. But you can.
But basically, it's difficult, and that's why reviews vary, right? You go on Rotten Tomatoes and you see someone is certifying it fresh. Someone thinks this is the best movie since sliced bread, and someone says this is drab, boring.
And you know, like, again, you can
always come through.
Everybody can see the same thing and just take a different take. So have a different take on that same thing. Like, we enjoyed Namaste Wahala. So
really?
So, it was so funny. It was so funny.
I had so many laughs.
It was actually hilarious. I published just a little bit of the snippet when they were doing the Bollywood dance. Oh, we're having so much fun. It's not a good movie, but we enjoyed it.
Is there a part of, critiquing movies that you don't enjoy? Is there like a process, something you have to do that you're not always excited about?
Editing isn't fun. It's not fun. Like, especially the computer I'm using it's not the fastest at this point. So, just to render a simple effect can just cause you to see things in in the past, like 2 frames per second. But no, in the actual getting thoughts out there, I find that that's the most fun. It's sometimes some things are harder to spot why you don't like or you like them, but that's the fun part, is like, okay, why did this work? But like, I don't think we've ever had that problem with a Nigerian movie, unfortunately or fortunately.
Yeah. And do you feel like sometimes you're kind of reviewing the same movies even though they have different titles?
Yo.
We don't. We're doing fewer reviews now.
Yeah, that's why
we are doing fewer reviews.
It was at some point where we're like, it's not even interesting to just keep on saying because like, how many of the same issues?
I feel like at some point, right, when we want to list the cons, we'll just write the usual suspects and then write anything new.
We've started doing that. We did that for sound issues, right?
Yeah, because sound, exactly. We don't even expand on sound anymore. It's like just usual sound.
Yeah. So So why is that? Why haven't we got sound right in Nollywood? I don't think I've had one good one that wouldn't be considered amateur by like professional filmmakers.
So I think for sound, part of it is people not knowing how to record it. You know, they do the sound and then it's
right.
A whole recovery, trying to correct it in post. So that's one of it, and I guess just kind of understanding the whole pipeline of what you can do with your sound, you know, from set to sound design to the score, and because that's like 50% of the movie. Like for me, like what I tend to do with filmmaking is it might look like kind of scattered, you know, like reading about a lot of things, but for me, I want to be able to speak in an informed way to my sound designer. Because at the end of the day, like, you know, film is very unforgiving. You need a lot of communication. There are a lot of moving parts. You need to actually communicate what you want that person to do. And basically it's about speaking the language of that person.
So what you're saying is both an expertise problem and also, you know, the totality of all the different moving parts of communication, because for different things you're going to require different techniques, I imagine.
Yeah.
So I've noticed that one thing that we do a lot is the lapel mics, and I get why we do them.
Yeah.
It's sort of, you don't have to worry about a boom mic being in the shot. It's much more freeing, and all of that. But I know this is not so much for movies that make it to the cinema, but I know like some lower budget movies, lapel mics just there are, and then the thing is that I think there's a way you can use them that would work completely.
Yeah.
But there's like, I guess like you're saying, there are techniques where, you know, if the camera is further away from your subject and the camera is closer, the way you hear the sound should be somewhat different. Like, you know, like closer it should be louder. But like the thing with a lapel mic is that it's always just right underneath your chest, and it's something that I can't get over. That I know that's not a thing that most people care about, but it's something that always takes me out of a movie, is that they always sound the same whether the camera is closer or further, and it's just it doesn't sound natural. And then there's hugging. Oh god,
he's always waiting for the hug.
Whenever a hug, I'm just hugging. This is things that you can actually plan around if you know these things well. Again, I think it's getting not as egregious in our cinematic releases, but in the lower budget ones, it's still quite noticeably bad.
Yeah.
I would really honestly rather the boom mic once in a while creep into the shots than.
Yeah, that's because you want extra shots.
Yeah.
I mean, like, so with sound, like, for me in film school, what we're taught is, you go with the boom mic first, you go with the placement mic, and then you go with the lapel last, because for the lapel, is the sound is being transferred over wireless signals, so you get a better quality recording when it's with the boom, so it passes through the cable, all that kind of stuff. I just feel, most times lapel is just lazy filmmaking. Like, even when I was buying my equipment, like, I've been buying stuff for like 10 years. I just bought a lapel like 2 months ago because boom audio is better, so I guess it's also about understanding and insisting on some things on your sets, and then when you don't know much about it, you leave it, and maybe somebody's being lazy or they don't know a better way of doing it, and then at the end of the day, you're the director or the producer and your film suffers,
I mean, actually, it's funny. It's Edwin from Nollywood, who does the Nollywood show on, is it Cloud something? Anyway,
Cloud Africa.
Thank you, Cloud Africa. There's one. It's not really a thread, but there's kind of somewhat of a thread of us taking screenshots of where the lapel transmitters are just in the shot, or they haven't planned the costuming with it, and the transmitters are just sticking out very openly in the shot. So like, it's not my most favorite, but I don't know. I imagine they're cheaper. I probably understand why they're being used, because you have the lapel mic, you don't have to worry about. There we go. We're done with sound. We don't need to think about it anymore. But like you're saying, I didn't want to say it because I haven't done filmmaking before. But it did sound lazy to me. But it is one thing less to worry about.
Yeah, definitely.
I've gone into sound. Mrs. C has gone quiet.
So, Mrs. Critic, like, what's your favorite part of reviewing? Like, what do you like to look out for apart from the characters?
What's my favorite part of reviewing?
You're right.
What's my favorite part of reviewing, or what's my favorite part of the movies?
Reviewing. He said
reviewing. Okay. Because Mr. C is the grumpy person, right?
Yeah.
So picking out the good stuff is sometimes a little harder, but it is one of the good parts to it, because we don't just want to dump on Nollywood. We want to find good things. We want to find things to commend. We want better movies. I love Nollywood.
Yeah.
I love Nollywood. Even like the old stuff, right? I love the old stuff. I watch the old stuff to burn time sometimes. I put it on in the background when I'm doing something else.
Yeah.
It was, even the ones that aggravate me, because we've established I get quite heated at movies. But yeah, so I love this stuff. So it's finding the good stuff. That's always fun. This is not movie related, but I enjoy working with this one. So that is another part that I really love. And I like to write. I consider myself a writer. Nobody has published anything yet, so I consider myself a writer. So working on the scripts, writing it, when we work on it together, we have this back and forth going. Working on it together, because it's not giving me a deadline and hounding me for his script. So
you have deadlines.
No. When we're doing it together, we're doing it. When you're there tapping your watch at me like, "Where's my script?" That's different. That's more stressful. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay, so like, has there been any review that you've done and then, the filmmaker reached out and was like pissed off or something?
No.
And we expected one person to do it, but it didn't happen.
The truth is, like, every time we do a what we would consider a negative review, we don't tag the director or any of that.
I mean, there was one director that seemed to be looking for mentions of the film at the time.
Oh yeah, he would have seen our review.
So, yeah, I expected him to say something. He's the one I thought was going to say something, but he didn't say anything.
No, I don't think so, because that review had the positive side in it, and it was one of those Mr versus Mrs types.
Yeah,
so it's easy to go, Mr doesn't know what he's talking about. And just you take Mrs. Which is
but you can't really respond to something like that now, because
like, what are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say?
What are you gonna say? It's like, so
he was
there is someone I critiqued. I said this one was on Twitter. I said this trailer is bad. This is just like it's just bad. And it was just a trailer of this film, and I can't remember who it was, whether it was the person who edited the trailer, and the person was like, instead of just saying it's bad, why don't you tell us where it's bad at?
Yeah.
And I was like, that's fair enough, because I mean, I wasn't doing it as a review. I was just on Twitter and
I was just responding to someone who.
It's just
Popcorn and Real.
It just came on. Yeah. And so the person asked, and I told the person in just one tweet, to be fair. Was it one tweet? Yeah. I thought, all the parts where I thought it wasn't working, but I never heard from the person again.
Yeah.
But I don't know how much he wanted to know about whether it was bad, but yeah.
Oh, also we did get into a Twitter fight with the Tamil Savage people.
Oh yeah, but those guys were just looking for
engagement.
Those guys were just looking to sell their market. It's fake.
But we only hear from the directors whose movies we give good reviews, or movies we generally liked better, and that's because we tag the people whose movies we like.
Yeah, Kasala is a movie that we were critical of. We did. I mean, I remember saying, one of the things I said was the quality of that movie, some picture quality of it. There are Iroko movies that are better than it. So like, because I know like low budget would have been an issue with the production.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was enough of an excuse, especially given the rest of sort of what I was seeing. It's like, it can be done better. So like, just know that it can be done better. Obviously, our praise for Kasala was it's really enjoyable. The story, like you say, it's fun. It has a tight script. The motivations work.
But like we said, like we are happy to ignore some technical issues if you have.
Some of them were bad.
Exactly. But we're happy to put it aside if you give us a good story and if we can see that you've put in work, right? It wasn't overall lazy filmmaking. It was, we could see the work that had gone into it, and a lot of it paid off. So we could go, all right, we're gonna let this one slide.
And that was the one that I was most surprised that the director reached out to us and said thank you for the review. And I was shocked because we did say critical things of it, even though I think it was positive. I really liked it as well, and obviously it's one of Chief's favorite movies. He says it's the best movie on Netflix. One of our really good supporters on Twitter. That was a fun movie.
Basically, no one has found us to fight.
No one has found us to fight. And it's just like, we're such a small. We're a small channel. Why bother yourself at this point? Why bother yourself?
How important do you think the work you guys do is for the growth of the industry?
Oh, I mean, small us. Small us. I know what I'm trying to contribute to.
Exactly.
I know what I'm trying to contribute to the industry. I'm trying to gather excitement, and I'm trying to gather enthusiasm for Nollywood. That's my aim. Good movies, bad movies. I want people to be engaged by Nollywood movies. And sometimes you get there by going, oh, look how bad this movie is. We know it's bad. But, we know it is, but like, you're not crazy, but keep watching it at least. And sometimes now we get people who watch movies so that they can watch our reviews. So, and I knew this was the case because this was how I used to respond to a lot of reviews I still do when I watch Hollywood movie reviews. When I got into the reviewer, I every time they posted a review, I was like, okay, I want to watch this movie first before I watch this review, but I have to watch this movie now. That kind of thing. That's for those people who do the spoiler heavy reviews. There's some people who do non-spoilers, and I'll check it out if I'm not sure if I want to watch it. But these people, I'm hoping that some people want to watch the movies before they even come and watch our reviews. Sometimes if you don't want to watch it before you watch our reviews, you've still seen a Nollywood content, whether you like it or not, right? You're just getting into Nollywood, and that is a contribution. That's an addition, and I think that's good for the general Nollywood. It's like, as long as people are engaging with it, with some Nollywood content, it's good. Yeah. So,
I mean, like, I feel it gives these movies visibility. Whether you like it or not, you guys are gatekeepers to some of Nollywood's audience. There are people that trust your reviews, and you thought something was really good, people will go and watch it. I mean, we know the other review page that people after they review stuff, people like, oh, thank you for helping me save my money, that kind of stuff. And I feel it's something that we as filmmakers really need to utilize, because you're about to release a film. You can call critics. I mean, unless you're paying them and they're all going to say nice things about your film.
Yeah.
They have different segments of the audience that trust them to kind of give that push to watch it,
Yeah, exactly. Actually, that's a thing. So we try a lot to any movie. Number one, I think we have a Hall of Fame right there. So, and it's in our critics playlist it's called the Critics Recommend. And these are movies where, like, hey, this have our stamp of approval. Like, if someone's coming to our channel, our Hall of Fame is straight, hey, these are the movies that these guys think are really good. Yeah. And I know people have gone to see Lost to Kurishi because of us. Yeah. And I know people, in fact, I know
recently they want to fight us after.
Yeah, even exactly, right? Like, still watch it. There are some reviewers who recently they found our work and they did a reaction video to one of our videos. I recommended Lost to Kurishi to them as one of the because they've been saying, oh, Nollywood movies, they're not trying. I was like, okay, watch this one and let me see what you think, right? Watch this one. And it's from there if you can get somebody in there, hey, Nollywood is not all that bad. We have some good movies. It's a great place to be. But yeah, we certainly can provide content in one way or the other, whether it's by introducing people to a larger audience.
Yeah, because that is what we want to do. We tend to recommend, so besides having our Hall of Fame movies and that we absolutely recommend, we have end our videos with Would You Recommend? And I don't know that we've not recommended
Chief Daddy.
We didn't review Chief Daddy now, did we? We did, yeah. Sorry, I blocked out that memory. We generally recommend movies, and we don't do ratings, right? Because we don't want to rate anything for Nollywood, right? And if we're rating things in general, then we're just going to be giving a bit more ratings, and that's not what we want to focus on. We want to focus on constructive things. Yeah. And for now, we don't think ratings are constructive, number ratings. Yeah. But what we do say is we're trying to get a rating system going of, like, watch it, pay attention to it, play it in the background, right? You can press your phone when you are watching this one.
Yeah.
Shall just stream it so that Netflix will see that streams are coming through,
which is kind of irritating. You can't. It's like you can gauge how we feel the way we recommend something to you. So there's some things we'll like tell you with our full chest. Oh, you've got to watch this one.
Yeah, and there's some things like, you know what, support the filmmaker.
Just watch it.
Let's get the industry growing, because that's one thing we're trying to do. So we want to hold Nollywood to a higher standard for starters, which is why we don't rate anything for Nollywood. We're not giving you a caveat, a cop-out. You don't get a special category for yourself. You're a film, right? You exist in the world of films.
Yeah.
Kind.
because the Nigerian audience, they know good movies. We tend to discount the Nigerian audience's perception of good movies because of the Nollywood movies they watch and they're allowed to make box office and stuff like that. And it's because I think even the Nigerian audience don't have high expectations for Nollywood the way they have expectations for Hollywood.
Yeah.
Right? The things they let slide in Nollywood, they don't let slide in. The things they let slide in Nollywood, they don't let slide in Hollywood. And that's one thing we also want to encourage. Is like, no, you don't separate your expectations.
Yeah.
Right? Expect more from Nollywood. If you expect more from Nollywood, open your wallet to match your expectations. Yeah. Stream the movies on Netflix, on streaming sites that pay creators money. Don't pirate it.
Yeah.
If you are going to pirate it, then keep your opinions to yourself.
Yeah.
You can't be reviewing or critiquing a movie you didn't pay for. Shit. But put your money there. And I feel like if we can get that going, obviously we're just doing a small contribution in our own little corner. But we want to encourage people to put money in the pockets of filmmakers, and then encourage filmmakers to use this. You get what I mean? Use this extra motivation. Your audience is expecting this. Your audience is willing to pay for this. We want the audience to be willing to pay. And if you're going to get your money back, if you're going to reap those rewards from your hard work, you put the work. We know the industry is challenging, and like the lack of financial the lack of income is part of the challenge as well. So it's like, all right, let's get this relationship going between the audience and the filmmakers. Let's pay you, give us good movies, we'll pay for the movies. Let's keep it going.
This one, like, not necessarily in Nollywood, but what do you guys like enjoy watching?
Like, I don't have a genre that just anything that's good. And it's funny because I wouldn't have given you this answer 9-10 years ago. I would have told you there was a style and a thing about movies that I liked, until I just realized that some of the things I just had been watching was just the bad versions of those genres, and I attributed that with, oh, this genre, I don't like it. But almost every genre is good storytelling and has like good execution of a certain thing. That goes for horror, comedy, dramas, westerns, sci-fi. All of them have like a story underneath it that set the rules for the world that you've created and stick to them.
Yeah. Give
us good, well-rounded characters, and we're good. So there is no particular. Obviously, like there are some moods. Sometimes you want to relax and you don't want to watch something too heavy, and we watch a comedy, lazy comedy, but there isn't anything I don't like have a favorite genre. I like to watch the good stuff. I said good stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have a different answer for that?
No, I watch almost anything, but I am
horror.
Almost.
Okay.
And there are horror movies that I will watch, although through my fingers or with a blanket covering half of my eye.
Yeah.
So I don't like horror movies. I get scared really easily. But I think I watched, what's it called?
The Nollywood one?
No.
Oh, Hereditary.
Hereditary, yeah. I watched Hereditary, right?
Yeah.
Barely. But I watched it. And I thought it was a great movie, but it scared the living daylights out of me. And I looked away for a lot of it.
The last 20 minutes.
Yeah, whatever. But like, I will watch a horror movie if it's a good movie.
Yeah.
I will look away for half of it, but I will be there till the end.
Yeah.
But I like light-hearted stuff as well. It's a light-hearted.
I think you have a bias for the light stuff.
I do. Life is hard enough. Films should not stress me.
Yeah. All right. So what are your current like Nollywood faves? With filmmakers, with movies.
Right. So obviously, The Lost of Kurishi, as everyone on my channel knows and gets tired of me talking about. Even Mrs Critic is getting tired of me talking about Lost of Kurishi. But Lost of Kurishi, Elevator Baby, I think it's a really, that's one that has a very good script as well. A nice tight script. They're like good setups and payoffs.
Remake.
Yeah, that's so exciting. I saw that it's getting a Bollywood. I was like,
I
was like, exactly. Well, it's not us doing
this time.
Yeah. So that the Elevator Baby, Lost to Kurishi, Kasala, even though like it has production issues, the chemistry those boys have and the way that story is written, also very good script. It has a very good script. What else is in a Hall of Fame that actually
Nollywood faves? I think that also includes your filmmakers.
Oh, the filmmakers. Well, so the directors of that now. So for Lost to Kurishi's Abba, for Elevator Baby, it's AK Mason.
I haven't seen Day of Destiny.
I haven't seen Day of Destiny.
I'm waiting for that to come to Netflix.
And honestly, like one of the things I like about Elevator Baby I noticed was the script. I'll need to see a little bit more to know whether like the directing, and because I know what I really enjoyed about Lost to Kurishi is the way the film is, the feel about the film. It's not just the script. The script is good as well, but I know I like the directing of it. So he's one of my favorite filmmaker. AK Mason might be one of my favorite script writers or director. I'm yet to find out. But he's definitely up there anyway. And Edosia, Emma Edosia, yeah. Oh my, that woman's talented.
I also want to give Emma Edosia money.
Yeah, Emma Edosia is talented. Honestly, she's talented. Good Lord, she's very talented. So
give her an Ebony Life budget without Ebony Life interference.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
No. I'm not shooting shots at them.
There goes our Ebony Life contracts.
I'm saying they have a lot of money and studio interference. Studio in general, studio interference tends to hinder the creative process of creating.
Look, I already fired shots at Chief Daddy, didn't we? So I think our Ebony Life,
even they should know that.
Ebony Life, this thing is gone. Our Ebony Life contract is gone.
I have no regrets about firing shots.
But like
at Chief Daddy.
they've done. I think Your Excellency, I liked from them. I liked it enough. I know it's not perfect, but
yeah, but we liked it.
Yeah, Funke. It seems like Funke is doing big things with Omogeto.
Yeah.
So she's, even though I haven't been a fan of the Jennifer thing, it just wasn't my cup of tea. I understand why some people like it, but she's very hardworking. I saw something in Your Excellency, which I don't know whether she was a director for, because I think on some places I've seen she was a director, and I've seen other people say someone else was a director. So I'm not sure what it was, but obviously she was at least a key player, if not the producer. She was a key player on that movie. And I remember coming out of that film and going, oh my god, that's the first time I've seen Nollywood handle multiple stories that well. And so I'm not surprised by Omogeto's success, because I felt like she was on a good path. So I guess there's a good shout outs to some of our favorite filmmakers, and we were waiting for you, Sele. So when you pop your movies, Yeah, at least.
You give us preview.
Yeah, well, we'll think about it. Yeah.
Imagine.
I mean, you're far away, so yeah, we'll look for a way to make it work. I mean, yeah, like sometimes it's scary, sometimes it's exciting.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. I just remembered this. This is, earlier you asked what was the hardest part of reviewing. It's quite hard to be a Nollywood reviewer with very late access to Nollywood movies.
Oh yeah.
It is really difficult.
I mean,
not having access to movies. Like, we're happy that movies are coming on Netflix now.
Yeah.
But you have to wait several months till it's out of cinema. And we're obviously not going to pirate it. We're not going to stream it from some dodgy website online.
Yeah.
So you just have to wait, and
I mean, it's fine. I mean, like, that's not their fault. That's our fault.
I know it's our fault. I'm not blaming them. That's on us.
Yeah, there's only so much they can do.
That's on us. It's our friend. I'm just saying, it's hard.
I guess it's also something that filmmakers, there's an audience there. It's harder to penetrate because you're competing against Hollywood stuff, but
But Nigerians want to feel close to home. Nigerians will watch Nollywood here.
Yeah.
I guess they have tried with some premieres and stuff, but Nigerians will watch.
I watched
Nollywood here.
Ishoke in cinemas here. Yeah, I saw that in cinemas here. So they did the launch. Mirror Boy, I think, had a premiere here as well. We've had some. Just recently, they've moved away from where we stay, and just the big city. So that's just a little unfortunate. But
we'd go into London for theatre. We'd go into London for a premiere, especially if we want to review a movie.
I was trying to keep that London part.
What, that we don't live in London? You want to keep a secret of where you don't live?
Yeah, fair enough. Yes, that's how sly we are.
Yeah, where you don't live.
I have to ask, because if I don't ask this, I'll regret it. You have suffered through all of our videos.
Yeah.
Which segment do you like the most?
Let me see. I think it's the one that you go in depth. I'm not sure you've done many for that, but I know you did it for you explained some stuff in Lost Okoroshi.
Right.
Because I mean it's kind of interesting because film, it's supposed to be referencing life, it's supposed to be multi-layered, and for filmmakers it's a good thing when like the audience are getting those multiple layers. Generally just like, I guess specifically that one, and just the general reviews.
Okay.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see how many drone shots are in movies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. The thing we did with Lost Okoroshi, I think I said it at the time, it's something I would so love to do with Nollywood films. It's just they don't do it. They don't give you an avenue for to be layered.
Yeah,
once you've seen a Nollywood once, that's it. You don't need to watch it ever again. And that's, it's fine. It really is fine for some movies to be like that. Even most movies to be like that. I just feel like we need more of the things that, watch the second time I noticed this aspect and I noticed that aspect, and that was all good.
It was this movie, I just remembered. I'm thinking of Ending Things.
Oh yes,
that was the movie I thought was very well done, but I hated it.
By Charlie Kaufman.
Okay, yeah.
Charlie Kaufman is he's a very eccentric character, and while we're talking about layered, he writes layered.
I thought it was pretentious. Mr. C says pretentious is not a review.
Look, you only get to use pretentious. You only get to use pretentious if you understand what the filmmaker is trying to do, and you think you can't do it if you don't understand what he was trying to do. That. If you
I understand what I was trying to do. The thing is pretentious.
You don't understand nothing. It's just she watched the movie and she was like, what's this supposed to be? And I get that, like, you know, it's tempting to use those kind of words. But what was the film that I thought was pretentious recently that I saw? I was like, this is the first time I'm saying a movie is pretentious. What was it? Which movie was it that I saw? Do you remember?
No, I don't know.
I saw a movie recently and I was like, oh, this is the first time I can say this is pretentious because I know what the person is going for. And all of this is just like, I'm just going to say now, it's kind of like a cinema pointer review. It's where reviews where they use flowery languages where you don't need to use the flowery languages and they don't add anything to what the review that you're doing, the point you're trying to make. You're just doing it because, and it's not even just, was Malcolm and Marie. Thank you. Yeah, it's not, yeah. So it's not using things that are excessive and they don't add to what you're trying to do. Well, yeah, you're just trying to make things look all great. Like shooting in black and white.
It's an artistic choice.
It can be an artistic choice and all of that, yeah. But like I felt like it was adding to this arty mood where it was trying to go, oh no, this is a really important film. It's a fight. It's a movie with three arguments.
I hope they don't think it's an important film. It's just.
You don't think that guy thought he was making an important movie? My goodness, that guy thought he's making a classic. Like he thought he was making a modern classic.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate the movie, by the way. I just think it's pretentious.
Yeah, I think it's pretentious. I thought it was a stressful movie. You know, I don't like stress.
So should we be expecting a crossover from you guys soon, from critiquing to actual making of films?
Soon is a very strong word.
Soon is strong.
Maybe in 10 years.
But I don't know about filmmaking. We'll see how that goes. But it's certainly something I have an interest in, and I think there's some aspects of you that have some aspects of wanting to do something, of Mrs. Critic that wants to do something like that in the writing aspect. And if I was going to start somewhere, it would start with writing. But yeah, it depends on the
Critic has done Mr. to a writer. Yes. He wants to write that people.
Yeah, because it's small that you start with somewhere, right? Like you write.
I'm not very proud of
you write what you know, and small you build from there. I think that's probably the thing that we're missing, is that maybe not a lot of people have made enough of. They haven't failed enough elsewhere. Some people are just failing in front of us, and we're seeing, which I guess is fine for them because they will know how to be better next time. But we are getting we're getting the failed process as well in terms of consumption. So
yeah, you guys are stuck on an island. Which movie would you want to watch over and over again?
Movie, not TV show.
Yeah, a movie.
Movie. I get a question like this. I can't remember any.
Groundhog Day is an ironic movie I'm thinking of. Just Groundhog Day. Just watch that, or Castaway, which is a Tom Hanks movie of him being stuck on an island.
Yeah.
That's not a movie.
We're not choosing irony.
It would be something that was fun and a little
light-hearted.
Yeah,
not
you don't want.
Little.
I don't think. I think Groundhog Day is a fine choice, to be honest.
Groundhog Day might be alright. It's not my favorite movie, but I'm stuck on an island and just living.
Yeah. He's sort of stuck in this point in time.
What, you're gonna have hope from watching the movie that maybe you break the loop.
Well, so there's something that the main character in Groundhog Day learns, and it's just to be in the moment. And maybe like we don't have to watch it every day, right? Or do we have to watch it every day? He's just stuck on an island day, right?
Yeah, but that's the only movie you have to. Yeah, you have to entertain yourself.
So like we don't exactly. So we don't have to watch it every day, but like once in a while, like when you feel like we're going through some sort of motion, you put on the guy who learned to be okay with being in the moment every day until maybe one day it breaks.
I guess Avengers Infinity War is too sad to watch over.
Avengers Infinity. I like that movie.
You like that movie?
It's my favorite Avengers.
Exactly. Yeah. I told you I'm looking for lighthearted. I don't want to think about the meaning of life when I'm cast away somewhere or have to watch a movie with layers. What am I using the layers for?
Yeah. All right. So what do you guys feel you'd want for the industry, like in terms of improvement?
Good stories, right characters. Let's start from there. Let's start with characters. Then we'll sort out sound and orientation.
If you say characters, I would say sound. Like, just because you're right in terms of, I want characters and character motivations. Those are two things I think we need to tighten up.
It's like, because earlier you gave an example of if someone's writing an astronaut, right?
Yeah.
And then they forget to research, about the life of an astronaut. I feel like the problem we tend to have with Nollywood is they get an astronaut, and then the only thing about this person is astronauting, right? So this character is a lover. That's the only thing we know about this person now. This person is a lover. The person is not a character. The person is just that particular plot point, and that's how the person carries on like that. And I'm like, how am I supposed to care about you? You're not a person.
I think it's because they think about what they want the story to be first, and so like they want a guy to fall in love with a girl because this is a thing.
And then you get that. Then you flesh it out.
So they're not fleshing it out, and they're not writing well-rounded characters. And even for the ones that do, and I think there's a film that was in a Hall of Fame, but it didn't stay there for long because it had this problem. So you have this character that is well-rounded, and it's a well-fleshed out character.
One of the best ones we've gotten, to be fair.
Yes, and then she does something, and I don't understand why she did the thing, and
because
then something else happens to do the thing.
With the character that has been created, and this character has been created,
and then things just start happening for no reason, and you can just tell because they needed to get this character from point A to point B, but they haven't figured out how to write in the way that character should do that organically.
But I still appreciate giving that particular character all of that character.
Yeah, it's just they didn't use it to do anything, which is a waste.
Yeah, and I also think directors actually directing and actors not bullying directors. Like, if there's that communication, this is what the character motivation is. It might help. It might not be on the script, but then the director knows that and is trying to amend that on sets. But
I was shocked to hear, because he had the guy who produced Fourth Republic, and I was shocked to I don't know whether I'm shocked. I just it's just that I don't see Nollywood actors as big because not like they're clearly big Nollywood actors. I'm surprised in some way that somebody has that ego because, okay, but whatever. But I guess that was when my shock came in that it's like he was talking about how they didn't want to do what the directors want them to do, and
it sounds ridiculous.
It's like it's not.
If the director wants you to take that scene 27 times, you take that scene 27
and sometimes it's like the director wants to shoot with one camera, and then the person is questioning the director, why won't you shoot with two cameras? Why do you need an extreme close-up?
No,
I mean, it's about being professional,
100%. Like, I don't mind a collaborative, like, hey, what do you think about this? You can offer, I guess it's fun to offer your opinion, but it's not your call last, right? Like,
don't fight the person who's watching it happen, right? If they say deliver this line this way instead, they're not telling you can't act. They're telling you, they're not telling you can't act. They're telling you this delivery is not the way I envision this particular character delivering it in this circumstance. Whatever it takes to, make your ego comfortable.
Yeah.
Just do it again.
Yeah. So I was shocked that was happening, to be honest. So it's great that great. It's weird to me that happens. It really should not. I mean, I guess to some degree it's possible, yeah, definitely, that some actors might feel I'm the one people will
come to this movie.
Well, like, if this movie doesn't do well, it's my film that will be bad, I guess.
Yeah.
But that's not the way. That's a failure of understanding of how a movie should work, because it's not your vision. Except you want to be the director, right? Like, if you turn into actor director, then okay, but you're not the director. You should just take instructions.
Definitely. So how can people keep up with your reviews?
So on YouTube we are Iroko Critic, and we can follow us on Twitter or Instagram. We're going to try and start doing a little bit slightly more stuff on Instagram, but we alert people to what's going on with our reviews there, and we give updates, and we're just generally chatty on Twitter. So if you just want to contact us to say anything, we reply to.
All right, yeah, it was real fun having you guys on the podcast.
Thank you so much, Saleh. I love this podcast. It's going to. I don't know whether I'm going to listen to this one because I'm on it, but I probably will. I probably will. Your podcast is so much fun, and it's part of my learning experience in all of the Nollywood things. So thanks for doing these.
Yeah, we found a few new faves from.
Exactly, we found Belinda from this.
Yeah, we found Belinda from you.
Yes, and Belinda and us, we're on good terms.
Yeah,
good terms. So.
Yeah.
All
right, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.
We have come to the end of this episode. Please remember to leave a rating and a review. You can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at @SelegofFilm, and the podcast also on Instagram and Twitter at the Naija Filmmaker. See you on next episode. Have a good one.